NFL Week 5 Injury Report. Updates on key players including Texans Nico Collins and Dolphins Devon Achane. Week 5 brought its fair share of injuries across the league, impacting several key players. Here's a rundown of the latest updates on injuries affecting teams and their stars. Bears. OL Tevin Jenkins, ankle, downgraded to out with an ankle injury. Bengals. OT Amarius Mims, ankle, carted off the field with a left ankle injury but returned for overtime against the Ravens. Bills. QB Josh Allen, head, suffered a hard hit but returned to the game after a quick evaluation for a concussion. Broncos. RT Alex Polzewski, ankle, did not return due to an ankle injury. Browns. Rodney McLeod, face, left with a face laceration but returned after treatment. CB Denzel Ward, hamstring, ruled out with a hamstring injury. Charlie Hewlett, rib, out with a rib injury. De Ogbo Okoronkwo, illness, exited the game with an illness. Grant Delpit, head, evaluated for a head injury. LB Jeremiah Owusu Koromoa, cramping, dealt with cramping during the game. Colts. OT Will Fries, lower leg, fractured his lower leg and will undergo surgery. Dolphins. RB Devon Achane, concussion, downgraded to out after landing hard and being evaluated for a concussion. Javon Holland, hand, also ruled out with a hand injury. Jets. QB Aaron Rodgers, ankle, suffered a low ankle sprain during the third quarter but reported it wasn't serious. Panthers. OLB Jadeveon Clowney, shoulder, unable to return due to a shoulder injury. WR Xavier Legette, shoulder, left with a shoulder injury but expects to be ready for next week. Tommy Tremble, concussion, ruled out after evaluation for a concussion. Patriots. RB Ramondre Stevenson, leg, hobbled off but returned after taking a helmet to the leg. He believes it's not a long-term issue. Raiders. Christian Wilkins, foot, out for the remainder of the game due to a foot injury. Ravens. OT Roger Rosengarten, ankle, exited with an ankle injury. Seahawks. LB Uchenna Nwosu, thigh, did not return due to a thigh injury. Texans. WR Nico Collins, hamstring, ruled out for the second half after suffering a hamstring injury. Jimmy Ward, groin, out with a groin injury but walked off under his own power. RB British Brooks, knee, ruled out for the remainder of the game with a knee injury. Vikings. RB Aaron Jones, hip, suffered a hip injury in the first half and was ruled out. Coach O'Connell remains hopeful for a short-term absence as the Vikings head into a bye week. 49ers. Talanoa Hufanga, wrist, left the game with a wrist injury and did not return. Jake Moody, ankle, suffered a high ankle sprain while attempting a tackle during a kick return. Jair Brown, ankle, initially questionable but was able to return from an ankle injury. Bills' Sean McDermott takes blame for costly late game decisions in loss to Texans. In a nail-biting finish against the Houston Texans, the Buffalo Bills made a puzzling choice that ultimately cost them the game. With the clock winding down and the score tied at 20-20. The Bills opted for 3 consecutive deep passes from their own 3-yard line, none of which were completed. This decision led to a quick punt, giving the Texans a chance to steal the victory. And steal it they did. Kaimi Fairburn nailed a 59-yard field goal as time expired, leaving the Bills to reflect on their missed opportunities. After the game, head coach Sean McDermott didn't shy away from addressing the elephant in the room. He took full responsibility for the decision-making in the crucial moments. The end-of-game situation. We needed to run the clock and move the chains. That's on me. We didn't do that, and that's my fault. With just 32 seconds left and all 3 timeouts available to the Texans. McDermott acknowledged that running the ball at least once could have changed the game's outcome. If we go 3 straight runs, we potentially run the clock down 6 seconds each time. Maybe we're in a similar situation. But either way, we've got to do a better job. And that starts with me. 100%. Had the Bills opted for runs, they could have forced Houston to burn its timeouts and potentially avoid giving Fairburn a chance at a long field goal. McDermott reflected, I probably should have run it on the first play and said, hey, where are we now? We're probably gonna have to move the chains at some point to not give them a chance. Those situations are on me. with the weight of the loss resting heavily on his shoulders. McDermott's comments serve as a reminder of the fine margins that can define a game in the NFL. Jaguars' Trevor Lawrence laughs off sideline spat with Gabe Davis. I love when stuff like that happens. It wasn't just Bo Nix and Sean Payton who had a tense moment on the sidelines this Sunday. During the Jacksonville Jaguars' thrilling 37-34 win over the Indianapolis Colts, tempers flared between quarterback Trevor Lawrence and wide receiver Gabe Davis. The CBS broadcast captured a heated exchange, with Lawrence even tossing a tablet in frustration after an early third-down sequence where he missed an open Davis. According to reports from Aditi Kinkawala, the situation escalated enough that other Jaguars players had to step in to prevent Davis from confronting Lawrence further. But soon after, Lawrence targeted Davis again, only for the former Bills receiver to fumble the ball on the play. Post-game, Lawrence took the incident in stride. When asked about throwing the tablet, he chuckled and said, "I sat it down, firmly." When pressed about his spat with Davis, Lawrence downplayed the situation, emphasizing the emotional intensity of the game. That happens in this game. People that have played it know. There was some frustration, and we had a little back and forth, but we cleared it up. Stuff like that's important. I love when stuff like that happens. If I'm upset about something, and he is too, let's talk it out and move on. We did a great job of that. Gabe's always good at communicating, so we got on the same page quickly. And it was good. Davis, who joined the Jaguars on a 3-year contract this offseason, finished the game with 3 catches for 38 yards. Meanwhile, Lawrence threw for a season-high 371 yards and 2 touchdowns, including an impressive 85-yard bomb to rookie Brian Thomas Jr., leading his team to a crucial AFC South victory. Bears-Panthers brawl. Players ejected after late touchdown tensions flare. Sunday's Week 5 matchup between the Chicago Bears and Carolina Panthers took a dramatic turn when tempers flared, resulting in a heated brawl that led to multiple ejections. Here's how it all unfolded. With the Bears leading 36-10, running back Roschon Johnson capped off a dominant performance with a 1-yard touchdown run. But celebrations quickly turned sour. Panthers cornerback J.C. Horn pushed Bears offensive lineman Bill Murray, igniting a skirmish that escalated into pushing, shoving, and heated exchanges between both teams. In the midst of the chaos, Bears lineman Matt Pryor threw punches at several Panthers players before getting pushed down by linebacker DJ Johnson. A replay showed Pryor appearing to land a punch on Horn's helmet, intensifying the situation. As officials rushed in to restore order, flags flew, and after reviewing the tape, they made the tough call to eject Pryor and Horn from the game. Meanwhile, Johnson was penalized with a 15-yard infraction. Following the brawl, the Bears attempted a 2-point conversion but failed, leaving the score at 36-10. With this win, the Bears improved to 3-2, while the Panthers fell to 1-4. NFL Week 5 grades. Cowboys shine. Browns flounder as Watson struggles again. Welcome to our Week 5 NFL grades. After a somewhat quiet first month, this week was a fireworks show for quarterbacks. While only one QB hit the 330-yard and 3-touchdown mark in the first 4 weeks. Week 5 flipped the script with 4 quarterbacks achieving that feat. In a thrilling showdown, Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow stole the spotlight during Baltimore's dramatic 41-38 overtime victory over Cincinnati. Jackson lit up the field with 348 passing yards and 4 touchdowns, while Burrow answered back with a stunning 392 yards and 5 touchdowns. Not to be outdone, Kirk Cousins and Joe Flacco also joined the party with impressive performances of their own. With 13 games in the books, it's time to break down the grades for every team this week. Let's dive into the highlights. Starting with Baltimore's electrifying win,